speedways, turnpikes. Enter at A, exit at Z. Where are the kicks? And whatever happened to B through Y? And what's just off the turnpike, over the hill? Where are all the timeless towns and the lost roads?
What have you got against progress?
What's the matter with
Shopping centers and housing projects and electronic factories.
just a thought? Forget it.
That thought you had. Who says we have to stay glued to the turnpike? Who says we have to be in Philadelphia by X hour? What happens if we twist the wheel at the next turnoff? To the right, Hester, and the unknown. Straight ahead, Philly.
I'm with you.
Right.
Hester, ready or not, here we come. Suppose we could have driven right through Hester and not known it?
Hester, baby, where'd you get to?
We got enough for 3 or 4 miles if we catch all the prevailing trade winds. You better check our map and see where little old Hester went to.
Relax. Should be just around the next bend.
So it was a long bend. What do we do if there's no gas pump in Hester? Settle down and get a job. Doing what? Well, we can sell lightning rods and build cracker barrels. You know, all the latest jazz. Say, is there a gas pump in town?
Colby, like I suspicioned. But he's a new one I ain't never seen before. Look at that jaw. It's a snapping turtle. That's the Colby jaw, nobody can tell me other. From them eyes, anthracite, just ready to flame out. And the set of his shoulders, the way he carries himself. As if the ground ain't something to plant, just something to stomp on. That's sure a Colby.
I can see how. After Jeff is Tom. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
After Tom, there's Hank, and there's Jim, and Mark.
Yeah, but listen would fit right in between Mark and Danny, the youngest.
Well, how come we never saw him before?
You're forgetting Dorothea.
Would you clear back, please? We don't want to lose momentum. Who sells the gas?
Drop an arm or something?
It's an old local legend about the great white father that comes from the east and teaches them how to raise truffles, and you're the great white father.
Why me? Why not you?
I don't know, ask them, it's their legend. We prefer to ride inside. I mean, it's not that we don't enjoy pushing it, it's just that, well, you'd be amazed at what a little of that stuff can do. Now, if we can trouble one of you to sell us 10 gallons of gas, we'd be much obliged, very much obliged. Okay?
It's the Colby voice.
They must think I'm somebody else.
We know what you are and who. Just your first name we don't know, that's all.
Buz.
Where you been to all these years?
I mean, is this happening like for real? You think you know this fella?
Like a shelled seed corn.
Buz, you ever been here before? Oh, yeah, I used to come here all the time. Twice a week for 200 years to race chariots. Didn't I ever tell you? No. Nero used to sit right up there eating crackers. That's where he developed that thumbs-down habit, you know, by fishing around in the cookie jar. And now, let's see. I guess it was right around there. A chick named Cleopatra used to run a barge service with some out-of-town cat called Tony. They went bankrupt one summer when the river dried up. Ah, come on. You know, this happens all the time, all over the country. All over the world, I'll bet you. Some people look like other people. Remember the time in El Paso there was that guy that you thought was your twin brother? He even had a voice that sounded like yours. Okay, so they think I'm... Who did you say I was?
You're a Colby. There ain't no use denying it. Though I can't say I fault you for trying.
Well, let's say I am a Colby. Why would I deny it?
Don't try to trick me, son. Maybe you talk smoother than the others because your ma took you away, but the leopard can't change his spots. No, sir. That's a fact. But you're just as mean, no account, and as dangerous as the rest of your brothers.
All right. Let's say I am a Colby. Do you know what a Colby does when he asks for gas and nobody hustles to use the pump?
How much you say you want?
Fill the tank up.
Can you pay?
Maybe. And if I can't? Beat it!
You came back home without Dorothea. How come?
Well, you know Dorothea. She's hung up on skin diving. She's cooped out for hammerheads. She's in the Shark Patrol, Sydney. Sydney, Australia. She likes to wrestle those 2-ton jobs with her bare hands. She's strictly a pearly-toothed kid.
You're crazy, too. Though I'd expect a Colby to talk that way about his mother. No sense at all. Least of all respect, though. Well, the way it was, I can't say I fault you.
I'd say you fault me. Wouldn't you say he faults me?
Buz, I don't think you heard him. He said he's not surprised to hear a Colby talk that way about his mother. Dorothea is a mother.
Welcome to the club. Say your friend. Don't say a Colby doesn't pay his way. Keep the rest of it.
You don't know who your mother and father were. You don't know who left you on that doorstep in New York. I mean, why couldn't it be Dorothea Colby of Hester, Maryland?
I guess what it is with you is the country air, huh? When it happens, when I know, if it ever happens, it won't be like this. Not at some nowhere bend in the road. Not in the company of ghosts like these. Faces like fists. No. There'll be banners waving and trumpets hitting high C. When I know. Oh, come on, look. I mean, out of a whole country, you know, there's thousands of towns, millions of families. We just luck into the one town, the one family? And come on. Let's get out of here.
Where's the Colby place? It's out where the owls weep just to fly over.
Maybe I ought to ask a weeping owl then, huh?
Ask him. He's a Colby. He just has to stick his nose up in the wind. He can smell his kin.
That's the way you want to leave it, huh? We just drive around looking for the Colby place until we find it, and then we tell them how you treated one of the Colby boys. Hmm?
5 miles straight ahead and up Hunter's Hill Road. You'll know all right when you're there. Yes, sir, you'll know sure as sin you're there. Hey.
Look, do me a favor. When we get to Hunter's Hill, don't turn in. I don't want to go to the Colby place. A thing like this could be important. Aren't you even curious? Don't you understand? I've learned to accept everything. Why should I go looking for my mother's bed? Look, Todd, old buddy, I've got it made. I don't even know my date of birth. On or around September the 23rd, 25 years ago, give or take a week. So, 30 birthdays has September. Now, how many guys can make that statement? Even trees have rings that tell their age. Are you better than a tree? That depends on the kind of tree you're talking about. Well, I'm going into the Colbys. You can sit in the car if you want to and count the days in September. But I'm going to find out who this Dorothea was and where she went. Anybody ever tell you you're a nosy body? Well, I'd rather have a nose 10 feet long than blinders on my eyes. Look, Buzz, some kind of destiny made us turn off the turnpike. I made you turn off the turnpike. Too late. Colby? This may not make any sense to you, but we're looking for Dorothea Colby.
Jeff!
Yeah, Pa?
Tom! Hank! Mark! Mark, what are you doing? You in that barn again? Get on down here!
Just pushing a little hay, Grandpa.
Be right back.
I've got to go home.
Driving a pickup, but later.
It's like seeing you in the mirror.
Now, you just asked that question again.
Well, it's about a lady, Dorothea Colby. We figured she might be a relative of yours or something.
Jess, you uncork him.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. He was talking for me, so I'll talk for myself. Now, where did she go and when? What year and what month?
Jess!
Now, can we have an answer?
Yeah. Tom.
I'll take this one.
No, you just wait there. I'll say... Hank, next! You're up, Mark.
Well, you're Dorothea's kid, all right. There ain't nobody could be so mean or fight so hard.
Dorothea's kid? You her father?
I'm your grandpa, son. Though I never thought I'd be saying those words, not as long as I lived. She sends you home?
I don't even know what she looks like.
Well, that sounds more like her. What'd she do, just up and leave you?
Look, aren't there any pictures of Dorothea's child or a birth certificate?
No. Dorothea, she went away before he was born. She never come back. Word is that she went down to Baltimore, run away with that Wallace fella.
When?
Ma?
February it was. 25 years ago last February. Just when the beans was put up.
When would she have had the baby?
You all know your own birthday, son.
When?
September. Sometime in September. I never heard just when. She never wrote.
What name do you go by, boy?
Buz. Don't you have a picture of her?
You come along with me, boy. Hang on, boy. Hang on.
I don't know what to believe. I mean, this whole thing, this room, people, all of it's crazy. I'd like to have this. I'd like to take it with me.
Take it where?
Baltimore, where she went, where I'm going.
Yeah.
She came to Baltimore a quarter of a century ago, they think. What door do we knock on first? Where do we start?
With him.
Where's missing persons?
Upstairs, last office on your right. Thank you.
I don't know, Todd. All of a sudden, I feel pretty silly. I mean, there's enough trouble today. Why dig back 25 years?
Is this the voice of the tiger that flattened 3 Colbys?
Yeah, but back there, I was wearing a suit of armor. I had a lance in one hand and a sword in the other, and Merlin whispering in my ear, Sir Murdoch, go dig the Holy Grail. But I don't know, here, Missing Persons Bureau. Why don't we just let it stay forgotten?
You forget it? Not buying today?
No, my friend decided to forget it.
The girl left you? Had a woman in last week complaining about the trucks on her street. Ruined 3 of her cakes. She'll come back. Not the woman, your girl. Who is she?
This is Dorothea Colby. She came to Baltimore from Hester, Maryland, February 1937. She had a baby that September. How do I find her?
Relative?
I don't have any.
But if you can find her, you might. I did.
Is it hopeless?
Found an old fellow last week, been separated from his family for 50 years. Took us 2 days. Riley? Check city directory in the phone book. Dorothea Colby. That a married name?
I don't know her married name.
Chances are she's not listed, but could be. Case like this where it's not an urgent, I don't have enough manpower to go full time. But I'll have the boys add her name to our route list. Sooner or later, she'll pop up in the net.
When you go full time, where do you start? I mean, where do you look?
Well, you find some address where she lived and you ask around. Maybe there's a neighbor from her time still lives there. So you ask. Did she have a car? That leads you to the Commissioner of Motor Vehicles at Guilford and 22nd. Where'd she work? Check the Department of Employment and the local union offices. Check her charge accounts at the downtown department stores or the Merchants Credit Bureau. Was she sickly? What kind of medicine did she take? That could lead you to a drugstore or to a doctor who knows where she is. Check the hospitals, especially the heart and diabetes clinics. She's over 45, isn't she? Where was her baby delivered? That'd be in Vital Statistics, City Hall. She could have a mailing box, or there might be a record of some registered mail she's received. Then there's the cemeteries. Of course, Vital Statistics, City Hall can give you that a lot faster. I could go on for half an hour, but that ought to give you the idea. Nothing?
Not in that name, Lieutenant.
They all start out like this. Nowhere. But they grow, and they come into focus. You'll see.
Lieutenant, the inspector's on the line.
Right there. For openers, run over to the Enoch Pratt Library on Cathedral. They have city directories as far back as 1855. Maybe she's in the 37 or 38 books. And call me later. I'll do some checking around in my spare time.
How come?
How come what?
How come the red carpet, wall to wall?
I'm just a sentimental slob. Maybe that's why they got me here.
Here. Colby, Dorothea, 1113 Enzor. First you find an address, and then you ask a neighbor. Isn't that what the lieutenant said? What neighbor? Now, what do you do when the whole neighborhood's gone?
Well, it was the baby. Let's try City Hall, vital statistics.
Buzz.
Hospital records verify the City Hall listing. She had the baby here September 18th, 1937.
Like it says downtown, a boy?
Dr. Perry,
A boy.
Dr. Wilson, Dr. Thomas Wilson.
If you show him the picture, he may be able to tell you more. He was working here that year in maternity, an intern in the charity ward.
Doctor, this is Buzz Murdoch. How do you do?
Glad to know you.
Sit down.
Thank you.
I don't know what good this will do you, but whatever it's worth. Patient, Dorothea Colby, admitted September 17, 3:30 in the afternoon. Male infant, born September 18 at 4:10 in the morning. 8 pounds, 2 ounces. Length, 21 inches.
Todd said you were the intern. Do you remember her? With the baby?
Sure. I delivered the baby. She didn't have her doctor, as I say. It was a charity case. I was on duty that morning when her time came. By the time the staff obstetrician arrived, the child was delivered.
Do you remember anything about the baby? The color of the eyes, hair?
Yes, they were dark like yours, black like yours.
Thank you, Doctor. Let's go, huh, Buzz?
You mean you just delivered a baby and no one ever knows what happens after that? She just walks out with a kid and that's that? It's all done?
Oh, she never came back to our pediatric clinic. She never asked for any help.
Here's a name for you. Hope Lansing. Runs a place on the block, East Baltimore. She used to work with Dorothea for a few weeks after the kid was born. Go talk to her. Who knows?
How'd you get this?
I had a few minutes today, so I ran down to the Enzer Street address, where Dorothea lived in 37.
So did we. Nothing left.
Yeah. But I checked back into the records for the trust deed holders on the buildings they tore down. The original landlord remembered Dorothea and a friend she had working with her at that time.
Time ago, you knew a girl named Dorothea Colby. Remember?
About popping a cork, honey. We got the best imported local champagne on the block.
Why don't we just give you the money instead, huh?
I can't use the income in my bracket. It would kill me. Charlie, champagne like for the three of us? Come over here. Sure. I remember Dorothy. I used to room with her. She worked here before she had the kid, for a couple of weeks afterwards. She came on second to closing. I was the headliner then. Boy, I had to really go some to top her. Sweet, innocent face right off the farm. Wow.
Where do we find her or the boy?
I got the faintest. She just disappeared into thin air. Hated the kid. She probably dumped him on somebody's front porch.
If you drink it, I'd probably choke.
Charlie, back in the icebox.
Sorry I got you into this, buddy.
We'll keep checking on. I'll see when I get back. Right. Thanks, Bill. Remember, I said these things always fall into focus? Exactly what's happened. Come on. You know, this is one missing person that really got to me. Talk about blind alleys. Listen, I turned this town upside down since yesterday. It's like Dorothy Colby took a balloon to the moon in September 1937. Only one explanation, had to be a name switch. That's why I asked for that photograph. Ed Hudson on the paper here is one of the top artists in town. Every now and then we borrow him to make an eyewitness sketch when we got a dragnet out for a killer. So I said to him, Eddie, I want you to age this woman for me, like you think nature herself might have done it these past 25 years. Then take a picture of that and we'll see where we are. Eddie, we come in?
Sure.
I had to guess at the hairstyle. That depends on what she's doing now and a lot of other things, but that's how I see you, Lieutenant.
You know who she looks like? Take a good look.
Hey, is that, what's her name?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about that?
Now look, Murdoch, this could be tricky. I don't want to embarrass Miss Thompson. Now, maybe she is the missing Dorothea Colby, or maybe I'm 1,000% wrong. Actually, I want to keep this unofficial. I'll clear it so you can be alone with her. From that point on, it's strictly between you and her. Clear? Yeah.
Surgery B.
That's it. Thanks. Good luck.
Your first intestinal resection. You have remarkable concentration. I could just feel it. I haven't seen you before, Doctor. You just arrived?
I'm not a doctor.
Well, you're not supposed to be here. Only doctors are permitted.
Well, in this case, they made an exception. You see, I came here to see you. I don't know where to start. Would it be possible if I came down there or you came up here or something? I used to have this terrible dream about an airplane that flew over the place I lived. It always fell. It used to come down like, well, with the sounds of screaming angels. At least that's what I used to think when I was a kid. It always crashed in the middle of my garden where my mother was planting flowers. I used to yell, "Mama, Mama, look out, it's headed for you." But she never heard me, and I couldn't move. I took roots like the roses she was growing. After the crash, the garden always burst into flame, and the roses burned down like fuses real fast, right down to the ground. And my mother, she burned down too, just like the roses, until everything around me was ashes, except me. Me, it didn't touch.
Who are you?
Miss Colby, Miss Thompson, I just gotta know. I gotta know. I mean, there's nothing anywhere about that kid that was born September the 18th, 25 years ago. My age.
What would you say to a woman who wanted you out of her life forever? What would you say to a mother like that?
I don't know. Times I used to hate the thought of her. You know the way kids used to count on their fingers from 1 to 10? I used to count all the ungiven kisses, all the uncelebrated birthdays. 1 to you name it. But how can you hate your own mother? I don't care what she's done. It's just that, I don't know, maybe if I could just understand why I was left behind.
I wish I could say you were my baby. But all I can say is, please forgive me. Try to forgive me. All I can do is try to make you understand what happened. I had a baby. And every time I held him or looked at him, all I could see was the face of his father. And I wished him dead. With all my heart, I wished that man dead. I didn't know then what I've learned since, that when you bear a child, you too can be reborn with the miracle of his newness. That the promise is his promise, and your hope is his hope. How could I have expected to know that he could rise above me or the kind of father he'd had? So I wished him dead, as I wished his father dead. Oh, I fed him, clothed him, kept him warm and clean. I did all the things that a mother is supposed to do, except love him. He died. One night, in his sleep, he just died. He was only 6 weeks old. That's all he was. Not even half a winter. I wrapped him up. I drove out to the country. I took some branches. I scraped a grave. And I parted with him. I came back to town. I walked into this hospital and I asked if I could work here. They said, "Who are you and what do you know about nursing?" I took a name, Joan Thompson. I said, "I know nothing about nursing, but I will learn. I will comfort everyone who needs comforting. And everyone I comfort will be a child to be held and loved and healed."
Goodbye, Miss Thompson.
Please, don't hate your mother. She gave you life. That's more than I could give my son.
But if only I could see her once, know about her, if she needs anything, needs me, you know?
For a moment there, when you hoped I might be her, I was her. And now, with my hands on your shoulders, they could be your mother's hands. For us, for you and me. Maybe that has to be enough.
This has been a Screen Gems film presentation from Columbia Pictures. Herbert B. Leonard, executive producer.